Welcome back to the Messer Fencing channel. My name is Oskar and today I will be talking about the fifth Hauptstück in Johannes Lecküchner's Kunst und Zedel im Messer, and that is of course the Geferhau. As per usual, I'll be talking about why it is there. I'll be going quickly over the two plays that are contained in it, and finally I will be giving some practical pointers on how to make this Hauptstück work for you, both in practice and in free fencing. Now, when it comes to why, I usually find this a very interesting Hauptstück. More so because it's very difficult to actually pull off. It's very specific. It's also really the first time in a manuscript that we encounter something that actively requires us to do something like a long point. And even though it's not strictly speaking a long point, it's really the first time that we start working with long point and then changing through from it. Why is it there though? It has very much to do with the fact that the Geferhau is meant to endanger someone. Gefer, to endanger. It's meant to endanger someone who is really fortified in the bastion, in Bastei. And someone who's really fortified in that position can very easily parry anything that you put up against it and retaliate quite easily. So you need a very specific way of endangering the bastion, and that is where the Geferhau comes in. How the Geferhau achieves this, I'll be talking about in the final part of this video. Very quickly, going over the plays. The first play is quite simple. It details how to perform a Geferhau against a bastion. And after that we get the second play, and the second play is pretty much what happens when someone parries your original Geferhau and then you get to change through to the other side. It's pretty much these plays only. Of course, you could do a lot of other things from the Geferhau, but that just comes down to general fencing theory. Now, for the final part, let's quickly get into how to make this work for you. I found that there are a couple of things that are really important to remember when doing the Geferhau. First off, let's talk a bit about wrist position. The Geferhau, as it is shown in the manuscript, has a position where the alignment of the blade kind of dips down even the line of your arm. So if I were to extend my arm, the blade is not in line with my arm, but it drops down a bit. This allows you to pretty much present your point even over an attempted parry, as we can see in the plate. However, this is really tricky to pull off. Most people will probably rather break the structure of their wrist rather than hold the messer between the fingers and the mouse of their thumb. This is pretty tricky to pull off, and I found that even when wearing light gloves I can't do this anymore. And keep in mind, I have a messer with a fuller grip. If you don't have one, it becomes even harder. So quite often, if you want to pull this and you have even a little bit of gear, your Geferhau is probably going to end up more like this. That will mean that it's going to be more difficult to actually put the point in there because you can't get as high. However, if that happens, you still have the recourse of doing a Durchwechseln if someone parries it. Far more important though is, I think, the footwork. Normally footwork isn't specified this much, but in this case it is, and that's really important because it says that we need to jump with the Geferhau. Why is this important? Well, if we were to simply step, so just advance our rear foot forward, we would quite likely walk into a hand snipe 9 out of 10 times. However, if we jump to the side, that means that we avoid most potential hand snipes and get to present the point. So the jumping part is very important. You need to make a sideways jump with both your feet leaving the ground in order to effectively make the Geferhau. Final thing I'd like to talk about is some practical tips on Durchwechseln. Now I will be going into Durchwechseln in far greater detail when I actually get to that particular Hauptstück. But for now, you can do the Durchwechseln in a slightly exaggerated way. There's many ways to do it. You can do it with a small wrist flick like this if you're at greater distance. You can do it simply by turning the hand and turning it back. However, with the Geferhau, you're already so close that you need to kind of exaggerate that movement a bit. So yes, you turn the hand to dip the point, but then you bring the elbow in and then extend again. So that is what helps you to get the Durchwechseln done in this case. I found that if I don't bring the elbow in a little bit, as we can see in the plate, it's really hard to dip the point below my opponent's messer. Anyway, I hope these tips will work out for you when trying the Geferhau. Let me know if they do or if they don't. If you like this video, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe and press the bell button for notifications. Anyway, stay safe, keep fencing, and I'll see you for the next video.